I was like, I'm sorry, but I won on merit, baby. Yeah, it's hard for people to believe.
Has lived in Ward 7 for 3 years, so that's how.
Yeah, and he. All right, welcome to tonight's study session. We have 2 items on the agenda, and we will begin with our FYE 2022 Capital Improvement Program budget status. Kim, turn it over to you.
I'm Kim Hoffman. I'm the budget manager in the city of Norman, and this is Jacob Huckabee, and he's the budget technician, and he really has a big focus on the capital project budget in the city. And tonight we're going to be discussing the capital project budget for the fiscal year ending June 30, 2023, and the capital improvement plan for the fiscal years ending 2027. And council priorities, and tonight we're going to look at current projects again and some proposals for next year's fiscal budget or next fiscal year's budget. And then in May, we're going to look at the final proposed capital project budget. So we've had some really good sales tax revenues over the last 12 months, and so we're projecting a surplus in the general fund as a result. And at the January
I've never heard those words.
We discussed some potential uses of the surplus, and we were able to gain consensus to use some of that surplus to bring the rainy day fund up to its targeted level. Also fill a funding gap with the vehicle wash facility at North Bay, and then use some surplus to fund some ADA modifications some funding gaps with the municipal complex renovations, specifically for Building B, which houses the police department, and then with Building C, which houses HR, IT, traffic management, or it will after the development center is completed.
Do we have any idea of, once these 3 have been taken care of, how much would be left, and what are they asking for municipal complex renovation?
So they're asking for about $6 million in total for the municipal complex renovation. I'm not sure what the total
So are we predicting it would even make a dent in what they're asking for?
That is the total that they're asking.
But how much will we have of surplus to put towards that amount?
Pretty much like that, but, and that's why I think the committee didn't recommend at this point. We need to be further along in the road.
To see what the surplus will be after these 3 things. Got it.
Yes, ma'am.
Councilmember Holman, did you have anything else to add?
Just gonna note that they is Brenda. Brenda is asking for that funding for the municipal complex stuff, and we had talked about a couple projects. I think it was just Councilmember Hall and I were here for that meeting, so
That's trapped.
we talked about several other projects. 2 of them were Norman Ford projects, but it looks like through savings on James Garner project, we should be able to cover those issues and not have to use the general fund surplus to go towards those, I think. And we decided on these 3, the rainy day, the vehicle wash, and the Andrews Park stuff. And yeah, we kind of felt like we needed more feedback from everybody before we could consider the municipal complex. But I felt strongly that, the police department, that building is in pretty bad shape. It needs a lot of work for sure. And then the IT is, we've all, I think, agreed that IT is a really big and growing issue for the city, and them having the space and facilities they need to operate properly is pretty important. So
are we hoping by May 3rd at our next meeting or will we have a conversation before then to know what we're working with the surplus after
We
this?
will certainly talk about it
Okay.
between now and then.
I think it'd be nice just to have at least little updates in all the finance meetings. Councilmember Holman?
just note too that the Norman Ford projects was $1 million for the Young Center and a $500,000 for the Senior Center. Was what was requested out of the general fund surplus And then we found out we have a lot of savings in the James Garner project that should be able to cover those two, I think, so.
Here to Norman Forward
Yeah,
Savings.
yeah.
Thank you, Sean. Councilmember Hall?
I was just going to throw in that, we did, I think, stay on the conservative side because that $6 million was such a big price tag without having other council input, but that we felt really strongly that we had an opportunity to bring our rainy day fund deposit up to where our targeted level is, which we don't often have the opportunity
agree.
to do that, and we felt like that was really important.
Any other thoughts about these projects for those of us that weren't in the finance meeting? Okay.
So just a general overview on Allocate projects is to support municipal government services. Projects are identified in long-range master plans that are reviewed by citizens, adopted by the council. Priorities are short range or long range, and the short range needs go into a 1-year adopted capital budget. The long range needs go into a 5-year capital plan. The C.I.P. plans and budgets are adopted annually, but only the 1-year budget appropriates funds. Emergency and high priority project needs can be added throughout the fiscal year. And then some sources of funding include enterprise revenues, bond proceeds, the capital sales tax, Norman Ford sales tax, public safety sales tax, grants, room tax, and some others. So what is a capital project? It generally costs more than $100,000. It's fixed or permanent in nature. It has an expected life of more than 5 years. Usually consists of the construction of a new, expanded, or improved tangible asset. It generally takes more than 1 fiscal year to complete. And then services for design, land acquisition, utility relocation may be required in advance of construction. And by comparison, a capital outlay is an expense for maintaining or purchasing new or replacement tangible assets which have an expected life of only 1 to 5 years sometimes. With vehicles, it could be a little bit longer. One-time occurrence, and usually expense occurs within a single fiscal year. And then this would consist of furniture, vehicles, computers, equipment. And capital outlay is generally expended from the general fund and the Westwood Fund, and then reimbursed by capital fund through interfund transfers. And then, of course, the enterprise funds will pay for their own capital outlay.